One beautiful day, the soul of Pawnee, a dead girl, came to find ThoMas. She led ThoMas to a car parked on the side of the road. Suddenly something changed. ThoMas quickly grabbed the other guy's car keys. When Pawnee touched ThoMas, he saw how the other murderer murdered her. Knowing the secret was revealed, the murderer immediately ran away. Loving Pawnee, ThoMas immediately chased after him, because he often encountered such things. So Tom taught himself a little fighting to defend himself. He quickly executed the murderer and handed him over to the police. Seeing that the villain had been punished, Pawnee kissed ThoMas as a thank you and left peacefully. Portor is the police chief in this area. He is one of the few people who knows ThoMas' abilities. Because ThoMas helped him solve many cases, he helped him keep his abilities secret. On my way home, spirits wearing uniforms with silhouettes of bowling surrounded ThoMas and asked for his help. Then, a masked man fired a gun at them. Rough Mass was also hit by bullets. He was startled awake. It turned out to be just a dream. ThoMas does not make money from his psychic abilities, but works as a chef at a small restaurant. Tommy is ThoMas' crush. Since childhood, they were destined to be a match made in heaven. While talking happily, suddenly Tom saw a monster crawling in from somewhere. He called them Bodoc. Bundle of Doc are invisible, very few people can see them. But if they discover someone sees them, that person will die. ThoMas inherited this special ability from his mother. But that's why she was locked up in a mental hospital. Not wanting to be like his mother, ThoMas always hid his abilities. Bodoc rarely appears and only appears when an extremely serious massacre is about to take place. The more Bodoc, the bigger the murder. Fanny's death did not attract them, but they were very attracted to this mushroom head. Proves that he will be directly involved in the massacre in the future. Because she believed ThoMas had telepathic abilities, Viola told him about her dream. This was the first time she saw her face in a dream, but there she and many others were shot dead. Coincidentally, Viola saw a person wearing a bowling ball shirt in her dream, similar to what ThoMas saw. In addition to seeing Bodoc, ThoMas has another ability. That's when you need to find someone, you just need to walk around and you'll soon meet the person you're looking for. ThoMas found Bop, but he didn't look unusual. He just bought a few buckets of ice cream and then left. Normally, Bodoc would follow him until he died, but this time, they strangely disappeared. Thont followed Bop back to his house. In the house, ThoMas discovered many different cigarette filters. This means that there are other people in the house, besides Bop. ThoMas felt the evil energy coming from the room ahead. Inside, he saw a rotten electric door leading to the Bodoc's residence. It tried to pull ThoMas in, but he ran out. Then, from inside the hidden door, many Bodoc came out. One of them almost discovered ThoMas. When the Bodoc group left, ThoMas returned to the room, but everything had returned to normal. ThoMas discovered that the room had stored a lot of evidence of their crimes. The calendar has also had a page torn off, with a high possibility that they will attack tomorrow. At this time, an accomplice returned to look for Bop. ThoMas climbed through the window to escape and was met by a group of dogs, barking loudly. He quickly climbed onto the roof before being discovered. Afterwards, Rough Mass told the police chief everything. Even though I don't think there's anything admirable about Bop, Portor still let his subordinate Ben check information about him. Bop just moved here about a year ago, after inheriting a huge sum from his late mother. However, he has never had a criminal record, and has never even committed a traffic violation. But anyway, he will send someone to follow him and ThoMas can rest assured to go on a date with Stommy. ThoMas arranged to meet Stommy at a church. While shying away from them, he saw the mushroom head Bop angrily walking towards him. While he was destroying the church, the two quickly got in the car and left. ThoMas called Portor and told him to send someone to the church to arrest him. However, the police could not find any fingerprints at the scene to incriminate Bop. Rough Mass meets Boss to get a heart-shaped piece of steel. Lately, he's been dreaming about the image of a bullet passing through someone's heart. Unconsciously, ThoMas drove Stommy to the bowling shop. Here, they were surprised to discover that the staff had changed into new uniforms similar to what ThoMas had dreamed about. ThoMas called Portor and he sent Officer Simon over to check. Simon was surprised to learn that BOC had attacked them a few hours ago. Stomy saw a picture of Simon's limbs and asked him what it meant, but Simon didn't want to answer. ThoMas and Stomy went to Viola's house because they thought everything might be related to her dream. From Viola, he knew that it was a place with many flashing lights, children's music, the sound of running water. Everyone was cheering like they were in a stadium. Then, young blood everywhere, many people died. Not feeling reassured, ThoMas went up to check if the children were okay. He was speechless when he saw the BODAC group surrounding their bed. This predicts a bad omen that is about to happen to the children. On the way home they met Lysette being chased by 2 dogs. ThoMas ran forward, but it was too late. A long-haired man wanted to chase away the dogs to save her, but it was too late. ThoMas said he saw these dogs at Bop's house. The victim was the girlfriend of police officer Bendern, so Boss sent someone to hunt Bop. Then sent Simon to his house to guard him. But Simon thinks ThoMas is becoming more investigative because every time he does as he says, he can't find evidence. Before leaving, ThoMas gave the sheriff the piece of steel and told him to investigate it. After returning ThoMas and discovering a gun on the floor and the body of the mushroom head Bop, someone killed him and brought him here to blame you. Looking at the frozen body, ThoMas suddenly realized that he had been dead for a long time, and that the thing chasing him was actually just a soul. Therefore, ThoMas could not see him and could not find any of his fingerprints hidden in the church. Unable to report to the police, ThoMas hid Bop's body in an abandoned prison. On the way back, ThoMas discovered that BODAC was running around every corner of town. A BODOC jumped onto ThoMas's car as if it discovered he could see it. On this side, the police chief was seriously injured by someone using a gun. Hearing the news, ThoMas immediately went to the hospital. The sheriff's wife thanked ThoMas. Because thanks to you and him, he escaped the scythe of death. The sky was now gradually getting brighter, which meant that disaster was approaching. ThoMas breaks into Bop's house again to find more clues. He discovered that they had cut off many test parts of the victims as trophies. Bop's soul suddenly discovered that because ThoMas knew too much about Bop, his accomplices killed him to silence him. Unable to touch ThoMas, Bop controlled objects to attack him. ThoMas gracefully dodged, then quickly jumped out of the window before Bop blew up the whole house. Thinking he had missed an important clue, ThoMas returned to the abandoned prison to re-examine Bop's body. He discovered that he had a tattoo similar to the tattoo on Officer Simone's hand. This proves that they are in the same group. No wonder Simone was surprised to learn that Bop had attacked Rough Mass, because he had killed Bop before. His psychic attraction ability took ThoMas to a shopping center. He is confident that this will be the place where Simone and his accomplices committed their crimes. Security agents here were killed. ThoMas fights a guy dressed in black and discovers that it is B. So Bop has 2 coins. Because Bop forgot the photo album and revealed the group's secret, so they set up a scene for the dogs to kill Lysette. And of course it's hard for Bop to avoid asking about death. Afraid that the police chief would get in his way, B murdered him. He killed him again, but ThoMas arrived in time, forcing him to stop. It seems they will appear after committing a crime like heroes saving everyone. But why didn't any of the cows cling to him? Maybe the DAC cows knew ThoMas could see them. So they did it to distract him. Bowling staff, Viola, and 2 children also came here. ThoMas told them to leave here immediately because a tragedy was about to happen. He saw many flashing lights, children's music, cheering crowds, and running water. After that, the DAC cows came out from the door of hell and crawled all over the shopping center. Suddenly there was gunfire from behind. The crowd fled in panic, but the door had been closed before. A crazy masked man shoots bullets at innocent people. ThoMas tried to take him down, but the black bulls surrounded him. So ThoMas will be the next one to lie down, but he defeated him. Rough Mass looked towards the ice cream counter with hopeful eyes. Stormy was safe and smiled at him. However, it's not over yet. This long-haired guy is just a distraction pawn. Where is Simon? ThoMas saw Lyyset's spirit and ran after her to a truck in the garage. When he opened it, ThoMas discovered that inside were many time bombs and they were about to explode. Seeing that the plan was about to fail, a BODAC possessed Simon nearby. Seeing that, ThoMas immediately closed the door and immediately took the car out of there, but Simon was able to cling to the car. He shot ThoMas, but luckily the bullet only grazed his forehead. Simon greeted him inside and ThoMas jumped out of the car. The car carrying Simon crashed into the abyss and exploded, and BODAC was also burned. When he woke up, ThoMas was in the hospital. Next to him was his beautiful girlfriend, Stormy. An FBI expert said that if ThoMas hadn't gotten Simon out of there, then at least 500 people would have died. The sheriff also changed the story to help ThoMas hide his secret. ThoMas's story was all over the newspapers and news channels. Now he has become a hero in everyone's hearts. But ThoMas just wants to enjoy a peaceful life with Stormy, a place where they can spend the day together, do everything together, but happy days are often short-lived. The sheriff arrived and informed ThoMas that the forensic department had reclaimed Stormy's body. Actually, ThoMas also somewhat knew since he saw Stormy at the ice cream shop that day. And because dead people don't always say anything. But the truth is too painful, so he can't accept the truth. And he has been lying to himself all this time. ThoMas must be strong. It's time for Stormy to go where she belongs. They gave each other a last kiss to say goodbye. Then Stormy turned into butterflies and flew away. After that,